in part at least, to quick action and public education. Cindy Sue has been travelling the commuter trains in Taipei to find out more.
I'm on an MRT commuter train, and it's packed with commuters. Almost everyone is wearing a face mask. Some ladies dressed in trendy outfits even have face masks that match the color of their outfits, in light pink, hot pink, or purple. This is how vigilant Taiwanese people are in fighting the coronavirus. Hardly anybody is touching the handrails or the hand straps. Most people try to avoid touching anything because that's how the virus is spread. Taiwan's main weapon has been its quick action. When rumblings began of severe pneumonia spreading in Wuhan City, the government was suspicious. In late December, it started checking passengers arriving on flights from Wuhan. It then sent a team to China to investigate and quickly announced tougher actions. Hospitals had to check and report patients with symptoms. Flights from Wuhan were suspended. An infrared thermometer is set up on a tripod at the Taipei main station, the busiest subway and train station in Taiwan. As passengers crisscross through a central part of the station, the thermometer, which looks like a camera, detects their temperatures. The temperatures are immediately shown on a computer screen, which is closely monitored by a station attendant. Anyone with a temperature of 37.5 degrees or higher will be tested again using an air thermometer. If their temperature is 38 degrees or higher, they will not be allowed to board any train. At this breakfast bar, the owners, a couple, are taking their own protection measures, while the husband is frying eggs and making hamburgers for customers on the grill. He's wearing a face mask, even though he's standing in front of the fryer and the stove. It is so hot. The wife takes money from the customers and makes toast, and the whole time she has her face mask on as well.
I wash my hands frequently, and when I go home, I change my clothes right away because I have 2 children. I use chlorine to disinfect the tables after we close each night.
So has there been fewer customers because of the virus?
No, because every morning everyone needs to eat breakfast.
Openness has been key in Taiwan's fight. Each day, the Health Minister Chen Shizhong holds a news conference to update the public from the Central Epidemic Command Center. It was activated the day before Taiwan confirmed its first case on January the 21st, and it meant personnel were quickly mobilized and funds allocated.
If we hadn't done contact tracing at that time, the people affected by COVID-19 would be in the community, and that would have had a much bigger impact. So we have been proactively testing patients with serious symptoms and actively finding those affected.
Outside a Taipei primary school, I meet Mom Jennifer Lin, who's dropping her children, having reminded them to wear their mask and wash their hands. Do you think it's inconvenient to be doing all this, to be lining up for face masks, to be taking so many precautionary measures?
This is about our own health. I think it's okay. I can accept the inconvenience.
Despite its success, Taiwan is not being complacent. It has travel alerts out for more than 25 countries and territories, and requires people flying in from affected areas to self-isolate at home for 14 days.
Cindy Sue in Taipei. Despite the emergency restrictions in France aimed at combating the spread of COVID-19, regional elections are still taking place across the country today, and the northern town of Arras is making history. It has the first ever political candidate in France, maybe even in Europe, with Down's syndrome. Eleanor Lalou, who's 34, is campaigning for more rights for disabled people. Our correspondent Hugh Schofield has been to meet her.
A pre-election rally in Arras, and among the candidates with the town's mayor, Frederic Lechoc, is a diminutive, brightly dressed figure who literally skips onto the stage, beaming broadly. Everyone here knows Eleanor Lalou, the young campaigner who, if all goes to plan, is about to become France's first elected town councillor with Down syndrome.
I went to the mayor because he trusts me. We've known each other for 20 years. I gave him my 10 propositions. He liked them, which made me happy. And then he said, would you like to be on my list for the election?
Eleanor lives independently and works as a hospital administrator. She also assists at an association for people with disabilities, which is run by her father. Here she's taking part in a workshop showing people with Down syndrome how to vote, something which, thanks to a recent change in the law, is now much easier. Getting people with Downs and other conditions to lead ordinary lives is Eleanor's big election theme.
Putting people with disabilities in specialized, closed environments is not good for them. They develop a kind of shell. They should be in ordinary, open environments. It's their right to live like everyone else because they are like everyone else. They are quite capable of everything.
Back at the rally, we meet Maurice Lalou, Eleanor's mother. Her daughter, she says, has always been a fighter, and it really should be no surprise that she's taken this latest step into local politics.
Well, the point is to show that if you have Down syndrome or another condition, you're just a normal person. So I'm surprised that it is such a big thing that she's on that list, because to me, it should be just a normal thing. You know, why not?
Du bonheur, de la joie, de la responsabilité, de travail.
And for the mayor, Frederick Leturc, Eleanor is no mere mascot. She brings to the team her natural joy and happiness, but also a sense of responsibility. Society, he says, needs to grow to include people who are different. And with Eleanor, Arras is going to grow.
Et avec Eleanor, Arras va grandir.
Hugh Schofield with that report. As coronavirus continues to spread around the world, it's had an unexpected effect on what people are reading. Publishers have noticed a big increase in sales of novels about fictional epidemics. Among them is a 1947 classic by the French author Albert Camus. This report from the newsroom's Richard Hamilton.
What is more real than death?
From the classic novel by Albert Camus.
A trailer for the 1992 film The Plague, starring William Hurt and Robert Duvall.
You were the first to suggest isolation. No doctor can cure it.
Camus' novel is set in the Algerian town of Oran, which becomes quarantined from the rest of the world as a mysterious illness kills off one innocent inhabitant after another. The book is loosely based on a cholera epidemic that erupted in Iran in 1849, but it's also an allegory for the Nazi occupation of France. Sales of The Plague have tripled in Italy, putting it in the country's top 10 bestsellers. And sales have also risen in France, where 1,600 copies were sold in the last week of January, an increase of 300%. Here in the UK, its publishers Penguin are rushing through a reprint of their English translation after stocks ran out. At the moment, the paperback is 47th on the Amazon bestsellers ranking. The editorial director of Penguin Classics, Jess Harrison, said the book could not be more relevant to the current moment. Other novels enjoying a revival include The Stand by Stephen King and Eyes of Darkness by Dean Koontz, both published in the United States more than 30 years ago. The Stand is a post-apocalyptic science fiction story about the accidental release of a strain of flu, modified for biological warfare, which ends up killing 99% of the world's population. And The Eyes of Darkness is about a fictional virus called Wuhan 400. Sales of the ebook increased by 3,000%. And it's now ranked second on Amazon UK's Kindle store after a tweet about Koontz having predicted coronavirus went viral. With thousands around the world expected to endure weeks of self-isolation, what better time to read novels about pestilence, plagues and pandemics?
Richard Hamilton, the main news. Local elections are going ahead in France despite widespread restrictions imposed to fight coronavirus. Spain has become the second European country to impose a lockdown. It's coming up to 0520 GMT.
And that is where we leave the World Service. Good morning, this is Neil Sleep, the start of the day for BBC Radio 4. You know, a lot of people ask me, what exactly is involved when we open up Radio 4 at the start of the day? And in this soundproof studio, of course, we hear nothing, but what might it sound like if we were standing at the heart of Broadcasting House control room? Simple as that, really. So, welcome to BBC Radio 4.
From boy wizard,
I was probably the kid with the least preconceived ideas about Harry Potter when I was auditioning for it,
to art house star.
It's very hard to find a script that you read and go like, oh, I've not read anything else like this.
Daniel Radcliffe talks to Lauren Laverne.
Lots of very successful people downplay the role of luck in their stories, though, and it interests me that you aren't.
Desert Highland Discs.
You can be the most hardworking and the most talented and all those things, and you still need a huge amount of luck.
This morning at 11:15 on BBC Radio 4.
I'll be back with news briefing at 5:30. Now it's over to Susan Powell. Good morning.
Good morning. And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 05:05 on Sunday the 15th of March. There are warnings of gales in Viking, North at Sierra, Forties, Cromarty, Forth, Irish Sea, Shannon, Rockall, Malin, Hebrides, Bailey, Faroe, Faroes and South East Iceland. The general synopsis at midnight. Low, Hebrides 981, moving steadily east and losing its identity by midnight tonight. The area forecast for the next 24 hours. Viking, north at Sierra, south at Sierra, 40s. Southwesterly, veering northerly, 5 to 7, occasionally gale 8 later, except in south at Sierra. Rain, moderate. Cromarty, 4. Southwest, 5 to 7, veering northwest, 6 to gale 8. Backing